Hey guys, this is Echo Soundworks, and you are checking out a first look video on ADSR. In this video, we're checking out analog brass and winds by output. So this is a Kontakt library. It is $199, and it's a engine or a library that blends together analog sounds, analog synth sounds, brass sounds, and winds, and it allows you to use these two different layers to kind of add, tweak, change. You can create your own presets really, but it gives you this way to blend brass, winds, and analog synths together. So if you guys are familiar with output, this interface might be pretty familiar. It's a 5-tabbed bass engine here. You have the main editing window with your 2 layers. You have the actual edit window, which will give you things like envelopes, amp envelopes. You have your effects tab. There's both layer effects and global effects, right? There are 2 layers. And the global effects will affect both layers, or one, depending on what you have active. Then you have the rhythm section, and this Output's had this in almost all of their libraries, I believe, where they have this rhythm, this little kind of flux engine. It's like a really intricate, advanced LFOs. It can add gated effects to the sounds. It can add just rhythm, as it says. And then finally, there is the arpeggiation page. So that's kind of the interface in a nutshell. I don't want to focus too much on the interface and the controls. I want to talk about the sounds and play some sounds for you guys. So on the main interface, there's these little nifty little 3D sliders, essentially. And these are macros. Some presets, they'll be mapped to things like reverb, filter, glide, pitch. So it really just depends on the preset, but they're pretty cool. And like I said, they do change from preset to preset. Now down here, this is the real meat of analog brass and winds. So if you click on this section here, you'll be looking at your sound source menu. There are 3 different main categories with some subcategories in each. So you have one-shot, pad, and tape. Now in each of those, you have orchestral, synths, and creative. So if I go to one-shot and I load up a solo sax short, let's go back here. Let's make sure our global effects are off. Right, we have a short saxophone sound. Let's go back to there, and let's look at brass bomb. Right, now let's look at some of the synths. Now these are pretty basic sounding synths, but they do have a nice analog flavor. Right, nothing too crazy here, but they are interesting to layer with the other sound sources. Now, I love the creative section in all 3 categories, really. So let's go to verb hit. This is a pretty cool one. Right, that's pretty interesting. And in my experience with output stuff, anytime that they start to really get into like more the really creative parts of their products, that's where it tends to really find its stride. Right, so that's pretty cool. Ghost slap is like a nifty little guitar sound. All right, let's look at some of the pads. So all of these will be longer sounds. It won't be as short. The one shots are a little bit shorter in duration. All right, let's go to the synths now. All right, and then the creative. Here's radioactive flute. Pretty cool sound. Glass air. It's got kind of like a Fairlight sound to it, which I dig. All right, so again, the creative, love it. I think it's really interesting sound sources. You even have some white noise. And finally, the tape. These are going to be, the sound sources are essentially ran through a bunch of tape effects and loops and just different unique effects. So these will all have motion to them. All right, so you get the idea. Those are different sources. So again, the cool part is being able to take something that's fairly typical, like let's go the solo sax short. If you have any, comprehensive sax libraries, this is going to sound fairly similar to it. But this is where it gets fun. You can activate oscillator, or layer 2 rather, and let's layer in, we'll go to one shot. Let's layer in the verb hit. Let's turn the volume down on the solo sax. Right, pretty neat. You can also get some interesting textures going by layering a pad, maybe with a one shot. So let's go to creative, let's do piano air. Let's go back to our source here. Let's turn off layer B. All right, let's go into our edit tab now and let's change some of the settings on layer B. Let's turn the attack up. Right, so again, easy interface to use, fun to use, and there are some really interesting sounds in here, in my opinion, in the creative section that you can blend with more typical brass sounds or even synth sounds. So to finish out this video, I'm going to play some of the presets, of which there are a boatload, and I guess to me a boatload means 500. So let's just play a couple of them. All right, so bunch of different flavors, everything from orchestral, cinematic, to pop, hip hop, and in between. I would spend hours playing all 500 presets in a video, but you guys get the idea. It's a pretty versatile library. It's easy to use. And if you guys have been in need of some more kind of interesting, unique brass wind sounds, this might be an option for you. If you have any questions or comments, let me know below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm Echo Soundworks. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.